I'll admit that gaming phones don't really do a lot for me, and the extent of my gaming addiction was Subway Surfers, Pokemon Go, and they're gone but never to be forgotten, Simpsons Tapped Out. I love that game. But I've had the ROG 9 Pro for a little bit now, and I feel like it really bridges the gap between gaming and mainstream. But I suppose the question is, does that new Snapdragon 8 Elite really take your gaming to the next level? And yeah, it does, as long as you don't have the ROG 8 Pro or the Zenfone 11 Ultra. I never speak about unboxings of phones anymore, but this has been my favourite in a long time. I just wish more phones were like this. You get, of course, the phone, you get a protective case, and you also get this 65-watt power brick. And I even really like the SIM card tool that this comes with. I feel like it's the little things. And when you set up the phone for the very first time, you get hit by this game that shows up exactly what the ROG 9 Pro can do. And as for someone that's never used a gaming phone before, this is really nice. It gets you to grips with the air triggers, and that was really simple. But the one thing that I noticed right away was just how good this phone sounds. It's got bass and it sounds so clean when I'm not accidentally blocking the speaker, which is a lot and almost in every game that I play. But when I can hear it, it sounds great. As I mentioned before, for someone that has never used an ROG phone before, I actually love the whole feel of this. And it feels like it pretty much replicates a console when you go into that Armory Create app. It reminds me a little bit of my PS5. It has this really nice ambient music, there's a game library, and it even calls the settings menu a console, and it does make you forget just for a second that you're using a phone. You even have these anime play games like Aero Invaders, which by the way is definitely not Space Invaders, and it lets you play these games on the back of the phone using the 648 LEDs, and you even get some really cool 8-bit music to go along with this. It's quite niche, but it's actually really fun. I also really like the anime vision that comes on the back of the phone with the LEDs, so you can have it set up so it can show you the name of who's calling you, it can show you the battery, the time, it can even show you how long you've been taking a video for on the back of that phone as well. Again, it's these little added extras that kind of make you forget you're using a phone. When gaming, there's a few AI features that help you along the way, although these are only for select games. So you have things like auto pickup and auto run in Genshin Impact, AI speeding up conversations, which I love because I hate cutscenes. You have AI grabber, which works in every single game, and there's X capture, which will automatically record moments of victory, which I very rarely get. So for the first time of me using a gaming phone, I feel like I get the hype just a little bit more. And the Snapdragon 8 Elite really doesn't let it down either. This performs very well, as you would expect, especially when you're playing those more demanding games. And how does this phone stack up to other phones in that price range when you're not gaming? Well, it stacks up pretty well. It's got a great display which can go up to 185Hz when gaming. There is 2 USB-C ports, so you can use one to charge and use controller adapters. There's a pretty impressive battery as well, and using it every day, I just cannot kill it. And you can get up to 23 hours of 4K video playback. If that battery was to run out as well, you also get that 65-watt quick charge, which can get it to full in about 45 minutes. And you even get a triple camera setup, which on paper, the specs don't look too bad either. Although they sound pretty good on paper, I actually don't think they take the best photos. If you haven't used video on an ASUS phone lately, then you'll be impressed because the gimbal stabilization is fantastic and is on par, if not better, than the iPhone stabilization, which I think is the best video you can get in a phone. There's also Hypersteady, which again is great, but sadly, you can only use this at 1080p. And you can record 8K at 30 frames a second and 4K at 60, and you can't use a 3x zoom on any of these options. And to get the use of the ultra wide in 4K, you actually have to drop to 30 frames a second, which honestly is just a little bit annoying. The ROG 9 Pro also has a whole host of AI features that have been brought over from the Zenfone 11 Ultra. There's a live call translator, which works pretty well, and it works quickly. AI transcript with the Recorder app, which will also summarize recordings for you. And there's also AI wallpapers to try and get something unique. And circles to search should be coming before the end of the year. Now, annoyingly, we couldn't test benchmarks while we had the phone under embargo, so we don't actually know how its CPU and GP numbers compare to last year's 8 Pro. To test it out, we used Genshin Impact at 60 frames a second capped and PUBG Mobile at HDR settings with extreme 60 frames per second as well, and both of these were set to performance mode. And the main reason we did this was to see if the Snapdragon 8 Elite does help with the gaming performance. There were far fewer janks and lower jank durations with that Snapdragon 8 Elite. My takeaways from this phone are that it is a great gaming phone, especially for my first experience with one.